why did I opt in to be a leader? This sucks. I believe there's 4 or 5 anchor points that make strong leaders, but I think this one elevates to the top. As a leader today, I think that there are a lot of things that create a mindset of this sucks. I think it really creates a mindset of why did I opt in to be a leader? So let me try to make it easier for you and spotlight one thing. I believe there's 4 or 5 anchor points that make strong leaders, but I think this one elevates to the top. And that is, how do we get more people set up for a higher probability of success in their role and a strong foundation where they can operate on their own? And that comes down to, how do we build the 4 C's in our people? The 4 C's are confidence, competence, comfort, and courage. Let me walk you through those 4 so you can understand them better. How do we build confidence in our people? What are some things that we can do that help them build their own self-confidence? And confidence is a two-way street. They have to have confidence in themselves, but we also have to have confidence in them, so we're not always coming over the top. If I don't have confidence in my people, I'm probably over their shoulder. I'm probably micromanaging. I'm probably thinking I can do it better than they can do it. And in that case, just eliminate them and do the job yourself. Right? Ultimately, just do the job yourself. So building confidence in somebody and having confidence in somebody is vitally important to getting them to the point where they can operate on their own and have a very strong foundation where you can remove yourself from that equation. So ways to build confidence. 1, words of sincere encouragement. Continuously make sure you're highlighting where they're doing good. Continuously make sure you're highlighting what you appreciate about the role that they're doing and the results that they're getting and the activities that are driving those results. Continuously remind them of their strong suits, their skills, their ability, their knowledge. Again, it all has to be authentic and sincere, not manufactured BS type of stuff. But to build somebody's confidence, sometimes it's about helping them see themselves the way we see them versus the way they see them. Because most of the time when people look in the mirror, they don't necessarily have that confidence, even if they're really good at what they do. Sometimes for whatever reason, we tend to be the hardest on ourselves, and that confidence level isn't there. So as a leader, we have to provide that confidence and help build their self-confidence by showing that appreciation, reminding them of their strong suits, helping them understand the value and impact that they bring every single day in the role that they're in. Again, confidence has to be authentic and sincere. I'm not saying BS, because if you don't have confidence in them, no matter what you do, that will ultimately come through. Not in your words, but in your actions. The next one is competence. How are we growing our people's competence in their roles? That comes down to development. How are we continuously giving them and building their skills, their abilities, their attitudes, their knowledge to be successful in their role, to show up at the highest probability of success, to drive the results that we're asking them to drive with the seat that they sit in? That comes down to making sure that they have avenues for development. That makes sure that we're taking our skills and transferring it into them. How are we coaching and developing them? How are we mentoring them along the way that allows them to be better in their role? We can all improve. All of us can get a little bit better at what we do. How are we helping our people get better and build that competence in their role that sets them up for success? Remember that skills transfer. Skills transfer just isn't about telling somebody. Skills transfer is about explaining to them. It's about demonstrating for them. It's about allowing them to practice. It's about observing them. It's about giving them feedback. And that takes time, which most leaders are probably watching this video say, I don't have the time to do that. Well, remember, short-term shortcuts create long-term headaches. And so if we continuously kick the can down the road, they're not going to build that competence. They're never going to be able to build that solid foundation where they can do the role on their own and we can step away as leaders. Short-term investments, I know difficult, but short-term investments create long-term dividends where we are setting them up on a strong foundation and building their competence level where they can do it on their own and we don't necessarily have to be over their shoulder. That's what makes it easier. Not easy, but that's what makes it easier as we go. If you need help with development and competence and developing and improving the performance of your people, we have a ton of resources that can help you. Check out our website. We'll put the link below, and make sure you dive into all these resources that can help you continuously develop your people and build more competence that makes life easier for them and for you. The third one is comfort. Comfort in understanding their role. Comfort in understanding their expectations. Comfort in being able to have a two-way conversation. Comfort in being able to raise their hand and say, I don't know. Comfort in being able to speak their opinion. Comfort in knowing every single day what they're doing and how it matters and impacts the ultimate results or where the bus is going and where we're wanting to ultimately end up. Comfort in the fact that we have confidence in them and that we trust them to do their role. This is a never-ending journey. We can't just give them comfort one day and be done. It's a constant reminder. When people show up with comfort, a lot of things get better. They're more efficient, they're more effective, they're not thinking about what they're doing wrong, they know that there's trust there, and it leads to just a higher probability of them getting the end game or getting the results that you want them to get. So comfort plays a big role, and that's the third C. And the last one is courage. How are we building courage within our people? Courage to try new things. Courage to provide new ideas and new thought patterns. Courage to step up and say, I can do this, boss. Courage to give them the understanding that they are doing the right things and the ability to potentially even elevate their game to a higher level. Courage to take the next step in their career. Courage to come and have difficult conversations with us if needed. How are we putting those things on the table and giving them the courage to do those things on a daily basis? When these 4 C's show up, again, there's a lot of things leaders should be doing, 4 or 5 key anchor points, but if we can rise this one to the top and elevate our game and really focus on these 4 C's, confidence, competence, comfort, and courage, we are now setting our people up for a higher probability of success. We are now setting ourselves up to eliminate our confusion and our frustration. We are now setting ourselves up to be able to break away and trust the people that we have. And we are also setting ourselves up for stronger working relationships. And those stronger working relationships just continuously build stronger working relationships that drive better results, that drive more efficiencies, that drive more effectiveness, that create more fulfillment, and just creates a better environment for people to work in. So thinking about those things, what can you do with your people? Where are your people's confidence? Hell, where's your confidence, right? Where is their competence level? What development do they need? Where's their comfort? Are they comfortable showing up for work? Do they really feel comfortable in their own skin doing the things that we're asking them to do? Where's their courage level? What can you do to bump that? Maybe somebody's at a 2. We can't get them to a 10 immediately, but what can I do to take them from a 2 to a 3? If somebody's at an 8, what can I do to take them to an 8 to a 10? If somebody's at a 5, what can I do to take them to a 5 to a 7? And I'm not talking about trying to eat the elephant all in one bite. I'm talking about those little things that we can do that help develop our people around those 4 C's that create a stronger individual, that creates a stronger team, and that creates a stronger leader to actually do the things we need to do to get the results we need to get. That increases engagement, that increases fulfillment, and that minimizes frustration and unhappiness. Think about your team. Think about yourself. Think about those things you need to be doing today to elevate those 4 C's. And whatever it is, act. Do something today that will help impact those 4 C's and make life a little bit easier as a leader. Best of luck.